Wingman Jono. I've been flying FPV for about 2 years now.
My name's Stu. I actually don't have a nickname. I know everyone else in this little series or team does, and I've been flying for about 3 years now.
Yeah, g'day, I'm Grubby Trevor. I've been flying for just on 5 years now.
I'm Crash Test Cal, and I've been flying for 3 years now.
Well, I'm Granger, also known as the Kid, and I've been flying for roughly about 7-8 months now.
I got started off in the hobby because I saw some of those Sharpoo videos. Everybody knows the videos that I'm talking about. Yeah, I saw those and I thought it was pretty cool, so I decided to do a bit of research. I spent a lot of time researching and then eventually bit the bullet, bought some gear and started flying. My first gear to start off with is I had some Quantum V2 headsets. They're the ones with like the full like sock glove over top of them. I had this pre-built quad called Black Widow, which was absolutely terrible, for lack of a better way of putting it. But it got me in the air for the most part and got me learning.
The way I got started in this hobby is probably very similar to a lot of other stories out there. It's you know, big thanks to YouTube, and that's kind of why I make these videos as well, to inspire other people. But I was watching YouTube, and at the time I was playing a lot of video games, and it wasn't really as fulfilling as I'd like it to be. I wanted to get out a bit more, and I was sort of looking around. I wasn't really looking for a new hobby, but I was looking at some cool stuff on the internet, and drones happened to be one of them. It was about racing drones through the snow, and also another quick little doco about some people doing some Star Wars drones through a forest. And I thought, gee, that was pretty interesting. I jumped online, I ordered my first little, I'd never done any other RC stuff, my first little quadcopter. It was a Hubsan X4, and then that came, and then within about 2 days of having that, I was having such a blast just in my little house. Thought, right, I've really got to jump in and bite the bullet, get some FPV gear. And then I did it. I jumped onto Bangers, bought like I think it was a Nighthawk kit that got sent over, and the rest is history. Since that first FPV flight, I was absolutely hooked.
Look, one of my mates bought me an AR drone, and one of those things you fly with your phone, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. Flew it a couple of times, and really hated it, thought they were a piece of shit. But it got me really interested, and I did say to one of my mates that I could probably spend a couple of thousand on this hobby, and I won't say how much I've spent on it since, but it all went from there.
Just watching the progression of quadcopters over the years. I started becoming aware of them, I guess, around 2007. I used to watch what was happening in Germany, where this technology kind of stems from, and I watched the steady evolution of quadcopters since then. And I almost, you know, bit the bullet a few times and threw down, I was going to throw down $20,000 to buy a big quad back in the day. And so I just watched the evolution of quads for quite some time, until I kind of saw people racing through the forest somewhere in France, in a scene that was reminiscent of Star Wars, and I thought, wow, these guys are really doing it. I just started searching for YouTube videos from that point on, and it was onward and upward from there. So I started with a tricopter with a KK2, which was interesting. I actually got that flying, and it flew quite well. Then we went on to the Nighthawk, and started with that. It was the first carbon fiber frame quadcopter I got, and got some help from Bruce Simpson with putting that together, which was great. Thank you, Bruce. That helped me a lot. And yeah.
Well, I got started from Stu's videos, as you know, and I watched his $99 build, so that definitely got me hooked. But I still thought that I wasn't good enough to build a quad like that, so I went on Banggood and I purchased, I think it was a Falcon 120, and that thing was pretty terrible, but it got me completely hooked into it because I was like immersed into the goggles. I got some big E-Sheen Goggle 2s, and they were awesome. I loved it. I could just go anywhere, and then I started meeting people to fly with, and yeah, that's what got me into it.
FPV for me is it's a whole bunch of different things for me. A lot of it is being able to like get together with friends and fly. That's a big part for me. The other big part is I love how technical it is. You're always learning new stuff. It's non-stop learning in this hobby. You have to keep on it and just, yeah, go and work your brain, and I love that.
This is probably a tricky question because it means so much. There's no real single answer, but I guess to try to sum it up, it's really a lifestyle for me. Like I love flying. It's just, it gives you something that nothing else in my life I've never felt like I do about this hobby, and there's so many amazing things you can do with it. So for me, it really is a lifestyle that I want to share with other people, and that's why I make these videos. It changed my life, and it's something special and something I feel really passionate about. I think about it every single day, and it's brought me closer to you guys and to so many other people, you know, like Trev and Carl, all the people on this video, you know, fantastic friends of mine. And so FPV is just an amazing tool that's enriched my life.
It's really exciting for me because it's something totally different that I never thought I'd be doing, and since I've been doing it, I've learned a lot of how to do a lot of shit I never thought I'd be doing, and met a lot of people, made some good mates, and you keep meeting people. Now it's got that big. For us, it's really strange. Like, we're talking to people all over the world now on Discord, helping them getting out to fly, and they're asking us questions which we can answer now, and we couldn't when we first started, obviously, because we had to learn as well. It's just blowing me away, especially at my age, because I'm not young, and it just sort of proves that anyone can actually do this. It doesn't matter how young you are or really how old you are.
The real appeal of FPV for me is to be able to get into the pilot seat, to be able to fly that jet fighter that I never got to fly in real life. So that's what FPV is to me. It's a simulation, and the fact that we can do it without risking life or limb is even better, because we can go harder, we can push the boundaries further and be crazy. So that's what FPV is for me. It's no rules, well, even though we do have rules, that it's a sort of an unrestricted way to get that aviation bug out of me. So it's been great for that.
It means a lot of freedom for me. It means that I can, like, if I'm worried about something or stressed, you can just whip out the goggles and go fly, and you can just get an amazing view of anything. You can go to a cliff and just shred that cliff like you're Superman or something like that. It just means so much freedom to me. And it means, like, meeting new people. It means that you can build more relationships with more mates, and yeah, it makes really competitive as well.
Pretty much, like, yeah, how much it works my brain. Once again, I really love the thought that goes into it, like how much effort you have to put in just to get yourself flying, and then when something does work and something goes perfectly right for you, that feeling you get where this is spot on, yeah, this is working for me, and just that feeling that you get, it's just amazing.
My favorite thing about this hobby is probably how many little things it touches that I enjoy, like the creativity side of things, the filming things, the teaching things, just the building, the problem solving. You know, you really have to sit down, learn a lot, and when you put it all together, you take everything, and once that first drone gets flying and you sort of, you've taken a box of parts, all this knowledge from all different places, put all your skills together, you know, with your brain, you know, the human brain is amazing, and then it takes off, you learn the controls and you're flying. It's an incredible feeling that is really hard to, I guess, capture with words, and I'm sure the people who actually fly know what I'm talking about. That first flight, when you've built something, you take it up and you fly it around, it's really magical.
Oh, look, I guess getting out with your mates and just flying, it's just a real chill out. I mean, I really do enjoy it, and enjoying it with your mates just what really makes it for me, and even helping other people out. So it's really opened up a big community, so that's probably what I love more about it, more than anything else.
Just being able to get out with my friends, get outside, outdoors, get a bit of sunlight, a tan, and have a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh, and a bit of competition around the track. That's always the best part of it, especially when we're all switched on. We can have a really great day when we get competitive on the track. So yeah, that's what's fun for me.
My favourite thing about FPV is definitely meeting new people, meeting new friends, getting to know more people. And it's really funny, like, I don't care what age you are, like if you fly quads, I'm going to be your mate. It's as simple as that. Like, I love quads, and if you love quads, we can definitely, like, socialise with each other, because we know what to talk about, we know how to help each other, and we know how to share things, obviously.
One piece of advice I give anybody is perseverance is key. When you start off, you're gonna crash, you're gonna break gear, it's gonna be hard to work out your problems, you're gonna get stuck trying to fix things and not know how to do it. Don't give up. If you keep with it, you persevere, it's worth it in the end. It's amazing. Keep trying.
My single biggest piece of advice is jump online, look for some other groups that you can go out, go flying with and talk FPV, because I flew FPV by myself for like 12 months. And I loved it. It was amazing, but it just got tenfold better when I met some other pilots that I started to fly with. It's just, it takes your experience to another level. You really feel part of something special, part of that community. So if you're a new pilot, you're jumping into the hobby, get out there, jump online, find those groups and get up and meet with those people. It's going to make a huge difference.
Best bit of advice I can do is make sure you do your homework before you get into it. Otherwise you'll get ripped off. You'll buy junk that you don't want to, or you'll buy junk that you won't use and you'll just throw away. So you can waste a lot of money in this hobby. So watch YouTube, watch reviews, and do your homework. And that's probably about the best information I can give them. So.
Simulators, simulator, simulator, simulator. That's what I say. Get yourself a good radio controller and find 1 or 2 simulators and give them a go and put in some hours on the simulator. And once you've got to a competent level on the simulator, you can start looking at perhaps an out-of-the-box bind and fly, or however you want to go, build your first quad or whatever, but you'll be able to literally step out onto the field and fly that thing without too much bother or fuss at all. So I'd tell them to go get into the sims.
I would say find a group nearby that fly FPV already, or if not, just find people that will speak to you about it, because like it's definitely helpful when you have a problem and you have no clue what it is, and everyone has those problems and someone else might have had the same problem. They'll be able to help you, and it's even better if you know them in person because they can help you physically. And that's what happened to me heaps of times. I have mates that help me out heaps of times when I'm stuck, and if it wasn't for them I wouldn't be flying.
Well, my friends all know it, but I'm a massive nerd, basically. Like, a lot of my background isn't in, like, doing RC gear and stuff like that. I actually come from a background of doing things like Magic the Gathering or Warhammer 40,000, so, yeah, lots of those kinds of hobbies. Yeah, this RC stuff, like the wings and the drones and stuff like that, very different from what I normally do, but lots of fun.
Look, some people might know this and some people might not, but I was a teacher for like the last 7 years before I did this full time. So yeah, that was sort of, I was doing UAVfutures on the side, and for me, yeah, you might not have known, but I was a school teacher. I was teaching like 10-year-olds about maths and English and teaching them about everything, and some really funny times they'd be talking about YouTube and they were saying how they had channels, and I was just keeping my mouth shut, just listening to their funny stories about YouTube, or they knew someone who had some subscribers and those sorts of things. And little did they know that their teacher was, you know, pumping out a ton of videos on YouTube in his spare time.
Oh, back in the early days, I used to have hair, and pretty long actually, and curly, and I was one of the top DJs around the place here. Yes, I was a DJ, believe it or not, and that was way back in the 70s, 80s, where most of you probably weren't born.
I lived in Hawaii for 5 years of my life. I went to college. Went to college in Hawaii, did a psychology degree, and spent a bit of time on the mainland as well, living in Utah. So people probably don't know that about me.
I have a background of racing motocross. I've grown up with it my whole life. I've been doing it since I was 2 years old, and it's just something that I wouldn't see myself not doing in the future. It's always something I have a passion for, and it's in the background of quad racing as well. So that's what something you probably wouldn't know about me, and that's basically what I love to do the most.
I love flying, I love FPV, I like, my mentality is I like flying whatever's fun at the time. I do, so I'm doing a lot of like wings and stuff as well, that's why we're doing the wings. And you know, showing people that it's really easy to go from one section to another, from like quads to wings, etc. It uses a lot of the same gear. You can pretty much work wings off of like your leftover quad parts. That's how I started with wings. I had a bit of leftover FPV gear. I had a spare couple of motors and stuff like that. All I needed was a couple of servos and a wing to put it on. Bam, flying.
What I want to share with people on UAVfutures is, you know, I'm not the wing expert, I'm not like the super, not as technical as Cal, you know, but what I really want to share is just the enthusiasm. I want to get people flying. I want them to have as much fun and get as much fulfillment out of this hobby as I do, and I feel so enthusiastic and passionate about that, and that's sort of what I think I want to bring across on the channel. I just want people to think I can do that. I want to show them how easy it is. They can just get out there, they can get their own equipment, they can get up and feel the same things that I feel feel when I fly FPV?
One thing I'd like to get out there that you don't have to be young to do this. Look, I'm in my early 60s. Yes, I know I don't look at guys, but it just proves that people, doesn't matter how old you are, you can still do this. I'm proof of that. There's probably older people than me flying, but you can get in the technical side of it as well and really enjoy it. So I want to really push out there that you don't have to be young to do this in any way at all. So give it a go.
Look, I just want to share the joy of FPV, same as you, Stu, but you know, it's an exciting new sport, hobby, industry, and to watch the rate of evolution with technology, that's very appealing to me. I'm a bit of a techie nerd at heart, and to watch all this unfolding right before my eyes is what I really like. I want to share that with everybody in the hobby, you know, that get out there with a group of your mates and to be pushing this new technology to its absolute limits. There's a lot of fun in that.
That I'm a young pilot that hasn't been doing it for that long, so I'm fairly new to the sticks. I love attending races. I want to take new people to the racing with me and show them what it's about and what you would expect from a race.